Hello and welcome to Patreon Empower's ongoing webinar series. This is kind of a special broadcast because we had some technical difficulties during our last recording. So I'm going to do a redo. So this will be a re-recording of last week's webinar when we were talking about broken link building. So, without further ado, my name is Colin Eggleston, and welcome to our topic today, to our show today. I'm the Marketing Events Coordinator here at Patreon Empower, and we're going to be talking about broken link building. And there will be, I actually took the questions from the last broadcast, so I took all those questions that we had on air and I wrote them down, and so I'll actually be re-answering them again for everybody's benefit here. So I'll do that shortly at the end. So broken link building is a special technique of link building where you ostensibly kind of take advantage or kind of look for opportunities where pages on sites that may be owned by competitors or other large sites in your industry, doesn't have to be a direct competitor necessarily, where those pages go down, and we can kind of take advantage of that in order to build great links back to us and kind of help out the internet in general. So this kind of reminds me of that famous Sun Tzu quote, never interrupt an enemy when they're making a mistake. I think is a very apt quote, and maybe he's even the first link builder, who knows. So what is broken link building? So a quick rundown of that. So when a page on a website breaks or kind of goes down, we call it's 404. It's an error code 404. So when a page is 404, it is broken. And so what that means is that any links that are then pointing, external links from that website that are pointing to that, broken page, those links then all break themselves. And so, like if you're a blogger, or if you wrote a review on a product and then that product page goes down, then you have a broken link in your article now. And so what broken link building does is you scan the internet for similar, like a product that you also offer that may be broken. The page may be broken on a competitor site, and you look for all those links that are pointing to that broken page, and you have them all moved over to your page, which is live. And so we have a variety of tools that'll kind of walk us through here that we can kind of look at and kind of explore this, because the tools are really the only way we can really make this an efficient process here as well. And really the last step is, once you identify the page and you identify the broken links, it's just good old-fashioned manual outreach, where you will go through and find contact info and send out emails to the site owners or to the authors of those sites. So I did a little visual diagram here. I'm a very visual thinker, so I like to kind of to have this as well. So someone writes a blog article here on the left, and they refer out to a product that's on a competitor's homepage, competitor's website, not on their homepage necessarily. And the competitor either moves that page and then they don't redirect properly, or they somehow invalidate the URL, or they delete the page entirely. This will break that link in that blog article. So then it's our opportunity to go through and to inform the author and say, hey, looks like that product that you were pointing to in that article, looks like that page is broken. And as a reader, it's not a very good experience for me to click on that thing you're recommending and just to be taken to a dead end. So what I've done is I've found a replacement for that of a similar or the exact same product that you're referring to, and you could use that to replace in your article so that your readers can have a better experience. So it really is kind of helping out the web in a good way as well. So this is a great link building tactic for basically kind of all walks of industries, industries on the internet: lead gen sites, enterprise, B2B, and especially retail, online commerce as well, e-commerce as well, because product pages change a lot And so your opponents or your competitors' product pages, they could do a site migration, or they could do a maybe they change the URL structure, or they even change something else of where it invalidates a page in one way or the other, and it can break all those links very easily, and unbeknownst to them in a lot of cases. So we're going to do a hypothetical client. So this will be the e-commerce example, but again, you can use this for any type as well. So like if the non-e-commerce example is if somebody refers to, let's say, a study or a very interesting article. Like if I'm writing an article on link building, and let's say I refer to Backlinko and maybe a study that they do on Backlinko, and maybe that page goes down. Well, now the study I'm referring to, that link is dead. But someone else could come and say, hey, Colin, I see you linked to that study on Backlinko. Well, that page is dead. I actually did a similar study, and it's more updated, so why don't you point to that page instead? It'll have kind of the same effect, if not better effect, for your readers. So again, you don't have to have a product, just a similar piece of content that you're trying to direct people to. So we're a jewelry. Let's pretend that we're building links for an online jewelry retailer. So the first step is really just identifying a good competitor. Now, if you're an agency or if you're in-house, this can be relatively easy. You just have a conversation with the owner of the business and just ask them some of their top competitors, or who's beating them in the SERPs for some really important keywords. So it's good to target a large website or a large competitor. If they have a lot of pages, then there's a very high chance that those pages can be broken at any one time. They're always kind of swapping things out. Maybe inventory runs dry and things like that. You want to have good traffic as well, so we can check through SimilarWeb or SEMrush and just kind of look and get a guesstimate of their traffic. This is just kind of more of a benefit to us, because you want a link on a site that's going to possibly send you lots of traffic, which is good too. And a site that has frequent updates, just look to make sure that they're always changing content and things like that, which is good too. You'll more likely to find more broken pages. Right. So, and preferably one that's been established as kind of more older domain as well. So we'll just go through. So this example, I went ahead and I found a really good online retailer called Stella & Dot, and this is our fake competitor. This is our hypothetical competitor. But just a quick, announcement is that we have no association with Stella & Dot, and this demonstration, this is for demonstration purposes. This is by no means to cast aspersions on their site at all. But this is just an example, so this is not to be anything negative, but I do want to show that there is some opportunity for this type of broken link building here with this, because as any large online retailer like them knows, that the pages change all the time, and so it's difficult to keep 100% all the time. So okay, so what you do is you put them in Majestic. I like to do just a root domain level report in Majestic. I like to look at their fresh index first, and then you can use historical later. So let's look at their fresh index, and then you go to the Pages tab over here, and you export that data. So the next step, you just hit export there, and so the export will give you a drop down here that has a couple options, and so you can actually just streamline this, and you can say, okay, show me all the pages on stellandot.com that have 404 or have 404 error codes, right? So you can just do that. So you get a nice little download of just the pages that we want to look at, because we're looking at only broken pages. That's all we care about today. Or Ahrefs has a great report for this as well, very similar to Majestic's. This is what it looks like when you download it to Excel. And it'll say in column C, it'll say the error code that it's 404 not found, and then in column G, it'll tell you the number of referring domains, the links pointing to that page. So what I like to do is I like to sort it by G, is the referring external domains. Now, what that means is that's basically a guaranteed, if one link per domain, basically, is guaranteed. So those pages, like the top row there, has 79 sites domains linking to it, 38 domains linking to it, the one below, and so on and so forth. So hundreds and hundreds and assuming that all of these pages in this list are still broken, which sometimes the Majestic, sometimes when it crawls the site, sometimes that page is only down temporarily if it's down for maintenance or something like that. So I like to go through this list and double check. I like to just copy and paste them into a browser, make sure these pages are actually still 404ing. It's very important to confirm that. And then once you find one that has a lot of referring domains, then you can go through and then backlink. You've confirmed that it is still down, and you can go through and backlink that individual page, okay, and to see what links are pointing to that dead page specifically. So that'll be our next step here. So make down the list and go on through there. And for this example, we found one here. So this is a bracelet page. So it's a bracelet. And let's just say, for hypothetical example, that our client offers the same exact bracelet. Okay, and sometimes it's not always the case. Maybe it's a similar bracelet, but let's just say, okay, they offer the same exact bracelet, and there's 34 linking root domains that are pointing to this bracelet's product page, that all these websites now have a broken link on them that are pointing to a broken page. So we want to help fix that, right? This form of link building is really helping. It's a net good impact on the internet, because you're taking all these broken links on other people's sites and you're replacing them with a fixed link to a similar or the same product. So it is really kind of a net positive, and especially maybe the net positive goes to equity for our client too, which is never a bad thing. So I went through here. So we're just looking through. I went before, as I was setting up this presentation, I went through. I took that example, I backlinked it here in Majestic using the URL here. I used a historic just to kind of capture everything, but we might want to run the fresh and the historic as well, just to kind of combine things. So we found that, yes, there are still a lot of links pointing to this dead page. And if we go to it, I'll just navigate to it. So we'll just show you that, yes, indeed, this page is still 404'd. So it's kind of loading there, but it says not found right here in the title tag up top. So that is indeed still dead, and it has a whole bunch of links pointing to it. So that equity is just on the table there for us. So this next point, I want to go through. I want to export so I found a target competitor. I found a page on the competitor's site that is dead, and then I found a dead page with a similar product that my client sells that has a bunch of links pointing to it. Okay, so those are the steps we've done so far. Now I export that list, and we got 59 backlinks, not too shabby. So this could possibly be, assuming 100% of these are good sites, this could be 59 outreach targets just for this one page. Now, if we go through the entire list, there were hundreds and hundreds. So a single competitor could have hundreds, if not thousands, of potential backlink opportunities. So this is just such a fruitful and tremendous way to kind of build backlinks here. So okay, so I'm pulling up this report here. So I like to look at a couple columns. So I like to look through the source URL. So this is the site that is linking to the dead product page of our competitors. And I like to look at this column and just kind of see if there's anything that maybe we can, if there's anything that's like off topic or maybe spammy or anything like that, you can just easily eliminate. And so I kind of like to look there. I like to bold the top row, but that's just me. It's just a housekeeping thing. So I like to kind of expand a couple of these. So what I typically like to do is let's just sort it by the domain citation flow, and so we can kind of get a good feel for the kind of equity that we might be getting here from these. So let's sort from largest to smallest. So here we go. So we got a link from Tumblr. That's interesting. So we might check that out. So it looks like Lori Hartwell .blogs. Well, it's a blogspot subdomain, so that's going to have a abnormally high citation flow. But maybe we want to go through here. Oh, there we go. Cosmopolitan.com. all right, this could be a good one. So we could possibly get a link from cosmopolitan.com for our client here. So if it's so what is the, and let's look at the anchor text so we can actually see what we're looking for. Actually, I'll show you a quick way I like to find it. So I like to so rather than kind of searching the whole page for the link, one thing I like to do that's a quick find is I like to go to the source code, and then I do Control F in the source code and type in the root domain that we're looking for. So this is Stella. Okay. So here it is. So there's the link to the Chantilly lace cuff. Here we go. So we'll just see if we can find out where it is. It's not very, it's not really helping us out too well here, but at least we know that it's still on the page. Let's just see if we can find it good. See if we can find it here. I believe it's like the third or fourth one. There it is. Okay, there it is. So it's the fourth one out of 8 here, and the link is still there. So we just confirm it. Just want to confirm, that this link is still pointing to the dead page, which it is. Great. So now, possibly, we can write we can add this to our list of, yes, this is now an outreach target. We've looked at, okay, I know Cosmopolitan. If I'm an online jewelry retailer, I definitely probably want a link from Cosmopolitan, maybe not. So this is, this site is good authority. It's let's say I sell this very same cuff that they're pointing to in this article. The article is a little bit older, so it is from 2012. But guess what? The link is still there. All these links are still live. And this article is still being indexed by Google, right? And so we can even see, well, let's just confirm that. But let's, so we can look, okay, when was this last cached? Okay, didn't like that. But let me go through, actually, I think I did the wrong thing here. Okay, let's try that. Okay, it's not always going to work. So if we want to do, it might be because the URL is kind of goofy here. So let's just try one last time. And if not, okay. Nope. Okay. So it's not going to tell us, but let's just assume that it's still being indexed. If we just look at, maybe just cosmo.com, and then just look when just the domain was last cached, this might give us an idea. Okay, so September 19th, so today. So it was the domain was ostensibly last cached today, and possibly this article could have been included in that, but we're not 100% sure. Either way, the link is still there. It could still be getting traffic. This is a very high traffic site. It's still being indexed by Google, and we're still getting that value of a link from a high authority domain. So we would add this to our outreach target and possibly try to get a hold of the editor or the author of the article for this example. So that's basically the whole process, and you will go through, and let's just go back to, where's my, here it is. So let's go back here. So that's one. So I would just mark that, I would just go ahead and mark that green, right? I would just go ahead and mark that row green, and then kind of use that as an indicator for ones we want to outreach to. And so then I just keep working my way through this list and checking through the domains and seeing, okay, maybe there's something that we want to go through and check all these and see if there's ones that we want to maybe weed out. But there might be, like this might be a really good link. So if I'm a jewelry retailer, designformankind.com, an article from 2015, looks like a pretty good, pretty relevant site if we're just like looking at relevancy first here. So go through and see, okay, there's the link right here, the Chantilly lace cuff, making sure the link is still pointing to there so it redirects to their homepage. So they've done a little redirect on there, so they probably noticed that it's down, which is kind of interesting. So let's see, come on, get there. So we can still possibly ask the author, say, hey, author, we found a similar, cuff here. Let's go ahead and get that link replaced out so we can find so your readers can find the exact one and buy it. So Okay, so that's the process. So you just make your way through the list through here, and so I'd mentioned outreach. So let's talk about outreach a little bit. So let's just kind of go through and kind of talk about that outreach process. So when I talk about a good site too, so we're a relevancy first, link building company here. So we like to really kind of look at, is this relevant to my client, to my industry, to my audience? But there's other things we look at, like does it have healthy metrics? That's why I sorted it by citation flow, highest to lowest. So we want to look at those first. Those might be our highest value, highest priority. But we look at domain authority is over 20, citation flow over 20, traffic, Alexa rank, number of organic keywords. You can put it through SEMrush, put it through, look through domain age, things like that. Is it crawlable? Is it index? All that. So this is my example here. I found another blog article of this gal that wore the cuff in question and blogged about it. So this is another opportunity for us to reach out to this author and have him replace that and go through. So this is my email template. So this is an example template that you guys can check out. It's just an easy peasy template. So I'll just read it for you. I just wanted to let you know that I found a broken link in your article located on this page. Boom, there's a page of your article. Be very specific. It is pointing to a nice bracelet that is no longer available from that seller. Here is the broken URL for that product found in the article. So let them know the exact one you want replaced. Just help them out at every turn, right? I found the same bracelet here. Boom, points to the client site. Just thought you'd like to know in case you want to swap that out so your readers can still find it. Thanks for your time. Have a great day. It's no simpler or no more complicated than that, right? It's just a quick email. You have 3 bits of information. We found a broken link. Here's the link. Here's the page, and here's a replacement. So it's just super easy. And this is, just take this as kind of a baseline. You can kind of modify it to your liking as well. So observe, inform, and prosper, right? So try to find the contact info, email them, and then hopefully the link will go live and they will replace it. So the other thing too is that just an FYI is that they might not actually get back to you. So you might email them and they might actually replace the link with one pointing to your client, but they might not tell you that they did or even respond to your email. So just check back every once in a while before you kind of follow up too much. So rinse and repeat and admire all your shiny new links through the broken link building method. So as we started with this journey, we shall end the journey with Sun Tzu. Know your enemy or competitor in this case, and know yourself. And you can fight 100 battles without disaster. So it's just basically knowing your enemy, in this case, competitor. This is all friendly. We're obviously not our enemy in that sense. We're all just competitors in business and just trying to make a living, but still. So if you find opportunities, their site better than they know their site, you can find those opportunities and turn them into your favor, into your fortune. So Q&A. So I have the questions left over from the last recording. So question from Gozaya. In which industries then is this strategy worked well? Honestly, I have not seen it work in any industry. I think honestly the worst industry to try this in is if you're a link building or an SEO company. Trying to link build within the SEO realm is traditionally very difficult because if people they know more about 404 pages, or they might keep their site, might just hurry and delete 404 pages or migrate it to a better degree of efficiency, migrate the site better, or something like that. So really just the SEO industry. But any other industry I've seen where you're selling a product or your information, or you're a lawyer or a dentist or a doctor, something like that, you have a trade or a practice, it's almost infallible. And I'd love to see any examples if there are where it isn't, but so far I haven't personally seen any, only speaking from my experience. Another question from Devin. Devin asked what types of tools Google. So I kind of went over the tools there, but Devin did also suggest that there is also a tool on Google that will allow you to check for 404 pages as well. So I encourage everybody to check that out too. So I'm not super familiar with it, but I highly recommend it as well because that could be free and easy. And then Hiram asks, what metrics do you use to qualify the benefits of attaining broken links? So kind of the metrics, I'll just kind of pop back over there to the metrics side of things. I typically like to look at these things, relevance first. Does it make sense for my audience? I ask myself, before I build a link, before I send an outreach, I like to say, will my audience expect to see a link there on this site? Will they be surprised to see a link to me on this site? And if the answer is yes to that, if they're surprised, then that's probably not a good link to pursue. So it has to be relevant to your industry and to your products and to your audience. Then we like to look at other kind of metrics, like metrics of health and kind of signs of life, domain authority from Moz, citation flow from Majestic, traffic numbers from SEMrush, even number of organic keywords is a good indicator because that could mean that they are there's a lot going on the site. If they rank for a lot of things, then they have a lot of content, and that might be a good thing to kind of pursue. And they're kind of a healthy competitor. So domain age is good. So those are things I always look at. Oh, is it crawlable? Is it indexable? So I like to look at that. So if it's not being crawled or indexed, we probably don't want to link from there, right? So those are kind of a good things to kind of look at. So that brings us to the end here of our broken link building journey. I really appreciate everybody for staying with us and for your patience in this kind of rebroadcast and this re-recording. I hope to have this live later today and to get it up on YouTube and elsewhere, so that everybody can benefit from this. And again, if you have any questions, please email us at info@pageonepower.com and follow us on Twitter at pageonepower. And you can find me on Twitter at DJ Colin Sick. And very happy to be talking link building with you guys today. So thank you so much for joining us, and have a great rest of your day.